Ah, what now? What now for Liverpool Football Club? Big up everybody inside. Big up anyone for tuning into this video. As you guys can see, what next for Liverpool after Jurgen Klopp? Guys, make sure you smash a like, make sure you share, make sure you subscribe. Drop your comments, negative, positive, verbal, whatever. Drop them, please, please, please. Would love to have a conversation with you all in regards to the obviously big news that has probably come out of 2024 in the football world, and that is Jurgen Klopp is set to leave Liverpool at the end of this season. Now, obviously, hopefully you guys tuned into myself and Jerry, where we spoke live reaction, just the thoughts, raw, like kind of raw emotions, and just trying to logically think of certain things, and people in the chat, bringing up, which managers they want, which managers, they think are the best, and etc. etc. We're going to take a little look at, what next, for Liverpool, in terms of, manager wise, we need to get a new sporting director and all these kind of different things. But as I said, make sure you smash a like, make sure you share, and make sure you do subscribe to the channel, and let's get into it.
Through the lot, now you know I'm coming through. When the growth look good on you, best believe they wanna screw now. I've been trying to climb, devil threw me in the dark. Baby, don't be insecure, you can still go make a mark like blow. Could never let them drain my soul now. Blow. Table turning like doorknobs, wow. Blow. I think I'm about to set sail. I'm a walking, living legend, walking with my chest out. Life keep dealing me cards, I keep feeling it.
Okay, now we're all calmer now. Are we all calm before we even get into this video? Is everybody calm now? You know what I mean? Has everyone stopped blaming myself and Jerry as if we're the ones who, got Klopp sacked or something? All of this silly stuff that was going on earlier on. But also big up the people who were angry anyway at the time. You have every right to be angry. The manager of Liverpool Football Club is leaving. The man that we've all known for the last 9 years, to be everything that we know with Liverpool, the man who has become synonymous with Liverpool Football Club, the man, if I get the picture up here, the man who has effectively won everything, won all the trophies, the man who came into a Liverpool squad that looked like this, but he ended up with this. Do you know what I mean? Like, everyone deserves and everyone has the right. And it's either or, it's neither here nor there, should I say? But everyone has the right, to be angry. To some people, especially the younger generation, the kids and stuff like that. Of course, to be worried, about the future. All of these things, I feel, are all understandable, and they're all things that I get. You know what I mean? And I would understand it from that kind of point of view. But ultimately, like Liverpool Football Club, I like to think in that kind of realm. In terms of what next for Liverpool, as you guys can see, is obviously the title of the video is what next for Liverpool Football Club. I'm very interested, very interested, very intrigued, very I think interested is probably the best word I'll use, in regards to that. Look, Jurgen Klopp, I'm pretty sure, once the season's ended, I'll do, like a farewell video and give my, would I say, full assessment of Jurgen Klopp's time, here at Liverpool. So, that should be a good one. Marks out of 10 to see how much I would actually give him. But in a general sense, this news kind of coming out, it was a shock, regardless of my own of my own feelings about Jurgen Klopp. In terms of I wanted him out. And to be honest, I kind of still did. Even this season, even the fact that we were doing well, I was still kind of like, yeah, you haven't really changed my mind in that kind of sense. I think it's everything that surrounds you in a general sense. In terms of on the football pitch, off the football pitch, it'd be difficult to say otherwise. But on the football pitch, yeah, I don't. There's certain things I don't really enjoy about Liverpool Football Club. I feel that that would be better served if we had a different type of manager. Now, that's not to say necessarily just because we get a different manager in, which we're going to get now, that all of a sudden our Liverpool going to be this, that, and the third. For all I know, it could be 10 times worse. But sometimes a change can be good. And I think that's how I'm going to view this situation. Is a change can be very, very good for Liverpool. You know, people think that the wheels are going to fall off. All of a sudden, Liverpool are going to be rubbish and this, that, and the. I'm going to choose to have faith. This is where you guys, everybody here, all the ones who had been getting onto myself or Jerry or whoever, this is where you guys talked about the faith. This is where I'm not Klopp FC. Never have, never would be. Never would be a manager FC anyway. Do you get what I mean? I think that's quite a silly thing to do. Even the Bob Paisleys, the Bill Shankleys, that doesn't really make sense. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, why would you do that? Because then ultimately, the problem you end up with is the same situation that Liverpool had been in for 33 years or 30 years. The same problem that and Manchester United are currently in. The same problem that and Arsenal are in. You'll go for such a mad drought, and your team will just fall off because you're allowing something to be bigger than the football club itself. Football club will be here forever. Managers will not be here forever. So unfortunately, I know that sounds blunt, and I know your emotions are still raw. I know all of this kind of stuff, and you guys know I don't play like that. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, ultimately, like I said, I'll do the video at the end of the season where we talk about Jurgen Klopp and the fantastic time that he's had here, the highs and the lows, and we'll go through all of it, and we'll really have a conversation about his time here, at Liverpool Football Club. But that's then. For now, like I said, it is more just about what next for Liverpool Football Club. As you guys already know, obviously Jurgen Klopp is leaving. Sporting director George Schmatt will leave the club at the beginning of February. So he's leaving in the next few days, actually. So by next week, he will not be here. While Jurgen Klopp's backroom staff, or Pep Lijnders, Vitor Matos and Peter Kravitz, will also depart when the manager steps down. Now, Jurgen Klopp did actually mention one thing about the backroom staff in terms of Pep Lijnders, Vitor and Peter. He did mention that in terms of Pep Lijnders, like he said that they are ready to, start their own managerial, their managerial path, so to speak. Again, not in those exact words, but I'm just paraphrasing. So that was quite interesting to me because I always thought if Jurgen Klopp would leave, Liverpool would try to look from within. This doesn't technically rule that out, though. I know a lot we've got, and I'm going to go through a list of managers and stuff like that who have obviously been linked with the football club as soon as the news kind of dropped. And we all know like the big three that have probably been linked with Liverpool. But Pep Lijnders was definitely one person. I don't want him to be manager. I'll say that right now. I don't want that at all whatsoever. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to get behind it, and he'd have to do a lot of convincing for me to be like, yeah, you are the guy. But that's neither here nor there. Again, for me, I just felt like that's how FSG would move and that's what they would do. I didn't feel there would be a situation. But I mean, at the same time, I'm saying all of this might just be a formality because ultimately we do like if a manager is to leave or anything like that, then of course the backroom staff usually would go anyway. It's going to be rare that a new guy comes in and he keeps the same backroom staff because in the event of a situation where Liverpool just decide to look outside of obviously of Liverpool Football Club to find a manager, then you still need to get rid of these guys anyway because they're not going to be the guys. Also, Klopp's not leaving now and then you're keeping the rest of them here. So maybe this is just all formality. For all we know, Pep Lijnders could be the guy that manages Liverpool next. Maybe they announce it in that kind of way. Maybe they announce it like that where end of the season comes, we've taken some tactics. But you know what? Now I'm even deep in everything. Heck, I've even got a whole dossier of stuff I was supposed to talk about. But even now I'm thinking about it. And that seems like something that them man would do. Yeah, I mean, we're sitting here thinking, nah, man, they're all leaving. Yeah, they're leaving as Klopp's assistants. Come the end of the season, they'll be announced as Liverpool. The new Liverpool manager will be Pep Lijnders. I can see that happening. I don't want it to, and I don't really want to manifest that or anything like that. But I can see that happening. Honestly, I can so see that happen. Today's the 26th of January. Yeah, just bookmark it. If that does happen, yeah, it's going to be a real funny one. But as I said, what next? Now, we know there's been a load of managers, of course. But firstly, before we even get into that, as what's his name, Paul Gorse actually stated the first few lines here, Sporting Director George Schmatt will leave the club at the beginning of February. So between February and the end of the season, Liverpool will not have a sporting director until they obviously hire a new one. That is going to be so key, in my personal opinion, as to what happens next as well. Like I said, we've seen what happened with Manchester United. We've seen how it is kind of there. The sporting direct, like all of that, that's all a mess. We had Michael Edwards. We had probably the best sporting director in the game of football at that period of time. We had that here. So for us, unless he's planning on coming back, which I don't feel like is going to happen, I feel that Liverpool will need to go out there, and the sporting director, in my opinion, that's going to be just as important. Now, again, we'll do a separate video on looking at sporting directors who could be a good one to kind of come in. I think that'd be quite interesting. I'll see. Big up Michael Talks, because I know he's someone who's kind of tapped into stuff like that. I'll see if he's available. But that's going to be so key, so key. Like, I don't want people to go over people's heads and think, yeah, we're just going to get a new manager and boom, 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 boom. I feel like Liverpool would have to hire a new sporting director first, because he needs to come in with the negotiation skills. He needs to come in with that kind of transfer nous, being able to buy and sell players. How good is he in these negotiation situations? We're gonna how good is his relationship with recruitment teams and stuff like we need all of these kind of things. Basically, exactly what Michael Edwards was to Jurgen Klopp. We're gonna need something quite similar to that for the next manager, whoever that actually might be. So yeah, I don't want that to kind of go over people's heads. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, that is such a key thing that Liverpool are going to definitely need. But yeah, definitely now I'm thinking about it, definitely going to look to do a video, on something like that. But in regards to managers, and again, I'm going to do a genuine video on managers, so I'm going to try not to go into too much depth about these guys. But of course, the main one, Xabi Alonso, former Liverpool player, former Real Madrid player, former Bayern Munich player, former Real Sociedad player, former Spanish Inter blood clot national. Whew, Xabi Alonso, baller. Absolute baller. He was just unfortunate. He grew up in an era full of better midfielders. He was just mad unfortunate. He grew up in the same areas, Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets, the Don Dadas, the guys who really do sit at the top table. But he's there he's in the canteen with them, man. Yeah, I mean, he can go up to their table and chat to them every now and again. Yeah, I mean, he's calm. He's calm. But really, really good player. It was annoying seeing him leave Liverpool, especially at that period of time when we were really, really good. We had Torres, Xabi Alonso in there, Mascherano, that midfield three. We were building something. I'm saying? Back line was even looking kind of all right as well. Goalkeeping, Reina. But then, it just kind of went to pear-shaped, more or less after that. But, he still went on to have a fantastic career at both Real Madrid and Bayern Munich, regardless anyway. So, yeah, big up to him. And, of course, him at... him at Bayern Leverkusen. Of course, he managed at Real Madrid youth team, then went to Real Sociedad youth team, Real Madrid youth team, and then of course now he's at Bayern Leverkusen. Again, this is just one tactic that he may or may not use, which is a 3-5 or a 3-4-2-1 formation. Could that potentially be something that that Liverpool might start going into, a 3-4-2-1? That'll be very, very interesting to see Liverpool playing with that formation. Next up, of course, we've got is Roberto De Zerbi, fantastic manager. Yeah, we'll get into who I would pick in terms of the manager, but I think he's a really, really, really good manager. I know there's question marks about him, but I think there's question marks about every single manager. People speak about, just if we go quickly back to Alonso, people do speak about Xabi Alonso and what he's doing with Bayern Leverkusen. They've not lost a single game this season at the time of this video, 26th of January. So, what they're doing this season, amazing, doing really well in the Bundesliga, Europa League next round. Like, they look like they're potentially onto something special themselves. Xabi Alonso didn't know that Jurgen Klopp was going to, decide to leave. So he's on his own path as it is. I understand that people say, he's got a connection with the football club, so that might put him in better stead. Don't know if that's going to be a good thing or a bad thing. Big up Jerry. He spoke on this just recently in his video, speaking about Xabi Alonso. I think the only plus point with being a guy who's been at the football club is you may just get more time than other people would, and because fans won't necessarily turn on you as quickly. Do you get what I'm trying to say? Like, but then at the same time, I don't want to. This club is now a Klopp FC. I've seen it now. Like, after hearing the news, and with Klopp leaving, I can see it. Man will just Klopp FC. I hate all of that stuff. I hate it with such a passion, because you can never be a manager FC. You have to be a club FC. Doesn't make any sense to be anything other than that. But we turned into that. Yeah, I mean, we allowed someone to become so powerful, you know, in both minds and thoughts that, like the second he announces he's leaving at the end of a season, everyone thinks it's just going to go to shit, you know, kind of thing. When we have zero faith in the whole infrastructure and, you know, stuff like that, you know, kind of thing, and also being mad and disingenuous to the players that we actually still have here. You know, unless they all go, which we don't know, but unless they all go, then, you know, that's just what it is. And I think with Jabi Alonso, he would just get more time than, say, a De Zerbi, as an example. That's where I think it would differ. But in terms of style of play, I think both Alonso and De Zerbi play a style of play that, you know, Liverpool could really, you know what I mean, could really get behind, you know, if I'm being honest. This 4-2-3-1 here, he's played three at the back before, you know, with Brighton. So again, I don't see that being a problem. He has got quite a methodical way of playing. Both him and Alonso, quite methodical way of playing, which is why I do like the both of them. You know, in terms of their build-up play, in terms of, you know, the use of certain positions on the pitch. I'm really, really into both of them. Again, we'll get into more depth about these kind of guys in a separate video, but it's just more just to see and to show you. Next up, obviously, is Ruben Amorim. Sporting Lisbon manager. We got Tom, because Tom actually was the one really, obviously I knew who he was, but never really looked into him or anything like that. Tom was kind of the one who always kept speaking about him last season. You know, when we were, you know, talking about Klopp being out and stuff like that. And, you know, I went away to take a little look at, you know, the type of guy he is, the type of football that he plays. Obviously, you know, Gonzalo Inacio is obviously there. Striker Gyökeres is obviously there. Trincao is obviously there. Nuno Santos, Sebastian Coates. Like, he's got a very, very decent team over there. The top of the league again at the time of this video, I think by 1 point at this current moment in time. Again, quite methodical in the way that he plays. You know, is a manager who does seem to have different ways of playing if it needs be. Has obviously his one main style, but he does have different ways of kind of setting that up. And I think, again, you know, it could be a very, very good manager, you know, potentially in the future. But, you know, it just really just depends on the type of manager. There's so many other managers. Those are the top three, I think, who are on everyone's, you know, kind of, you know, list and stuff like that. So you got Alonso, De Zerbi, and Amorim. But you got other managers as well. Nagelsmann, when he was at Bayern, you know, could he potentially come in? We don't really know. Let me know what you think. Thomas Frank at Brentford, you know, Brentford play some really, really good football. And I actually feel Thomas Frank, I like him the most in terms of, I don't know, there's something about him that I just think, I feel like this guy could be a top manager, you know. He's got something about him. The way he speaks in interviews, it makes me believe in him big time. I don't know what it is, though. Obviously, you got Inzaghi at Inter Milan. You know, they've just recently, I think they just won the cup, just as of recently against Napoli. You know, doing well in Serie A. You know, he's having a good season, and he's having a good couple of seasons, if I'm being totally honest with you. So I don't know if he'd be a viable option, so to speak, but, you know, and then you've got Mitchell. Mitchell, the Girona manager. Girona doing fantastically, absolutely, in my personal opinion. Obviously, the season's not over, but if we stop the season today, they have been, in my opinion, the most surprising team in Europe. And when I say surprising, I'm not saying, because I think that they were going to be shit or anything. Of course, I just didn't think they would be obviously as good as they are at this current moment in time, but more to the point of, this is the team who you didn't think that they would be able to keep up the pace that they have been keeping up so far. But if you watch them play, yeah, you, man, go to La Liga, man. Trust me. Go and watch these guys play. And big up Michael Talks, because again, he'll tell you about the, you know, these kind of guys. And obviously these are the other managers. You got Unai Emery, you got Postecoglou in there. You know, so yeah, it's an interesting one, man. It's an interesting one. People in the chat and people in the comments, should I say, sorry, let me know what you think in regards to that. In regards to who you think should be the next Liverpool manager. Who would I pick? I think I said it before. If I had to pick a top three, for me, it would be De Zerbi. He'd be my number one pick. Second pick would actually be Thomas Frank. I really, really like Thomas Frank. There's something about this brother. Like I say, people, you don't want to see it now, you don't want to hear it now. That's like, again, it's just preference. It's just whatever. But I really, really like his style of play, his football, and again, the way he speaks, the way he talks, and the way he thinks about football go and listen to him one day. I promise you that'll be someone you'd at least think about. I'm not saying you'd pick him straight away, but definitely be, you know, someone to think about. And then I think I'll go the last choice is probably like between like an Alonso and Amarim. Amarim is more experienced, so could side more with him, but Alonso is what he's doing this season is kind of tipping the scale for me as to why I would put him in third place. But yeah, I will definitely go with that. De Zerbi, Thomas Frank, and Jabi Alonso. But again, like I said, we all know how Liverpool move. We all know how Liverpool are, man. Pep Linders, here we come. Michael Edwards coming back. But that's definitely something that we do need to sort out. And again, it's something that we should be taking a look at is what's going to happen moving forward in regards to, you know, sporting director, you know, other coaches, you know, the other backroom staff. We need to sort these things out. You know, if we do bring in an outside manager, let's say we don't go for the Pep Linders one, do we then have to, is that guy going to bring in bare of his people? He might have a recruitment guy in there that he's like, brother, this is the best recruitment guy I've ever worked with. He's picked up this guy. Then he might want to come in and bring all of these, you know, there's going to be a lot of upheaval, a lot of stuff happening for Liverpool in the summer. Liverpool probably going to be the most exciting team, to be honest, to be looking at, you know, heading into the summer transfer window and just the summer in a general sense. Also got the Euros as well. So everything is going to be happening next summer, or this summer, should I say. So yeah, you make sure you guys, of course, stay tuned. But as I said, guys, let me know what you guys think. What next for Liverpool after Klopp? You know, life after Klopp. What are we going to do? You know, how do we see this panning out? Who should be the manager, sporting director? Which type of direction should we go in? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, please. I'm G, and we're out, man.